Hey AfterBuzzers, welcome to the Broad City After Show. Today we're going to be talking about Broad City Season 3, Episodes 7 and 8, BNB-NYC, and Burning Bridges. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yes, bitch. Yes, bitch.
As you download it.
I did. I just downloaded it right now. Apple Music.
I have to say, this show has some of the best, I don't know if it's Snap or what's going on. This show has some of the absolute best music that always makes you want to party. This, of course, coming from our episode that we're going to talk about first, BNB-NYC.
Hey.
How's everybody doing today? I know the panel looks a little bit different. The other host and I had a very Hunger Games style tournament where I came out the victor. I'm the only one left. Just kidding. Okay, guys, I'm Jay Ellis. I am joined by somebody new on the panel today. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell them where they can find you.
DJ Jessie J. You guys can follow me everywhere at DJ Jessie J. I'm a new Broad City fan. I binge watched them all, basically, and now I'm finally caught up.
So excited
As
to
of
see
today, I am caught up with all of Broad City.
So happy, and guys, my name's Jay Ellis. You can find me on Instagram at don't_be_jealous, Jellis, and then Twitter at still_jealous. If you're watching us on the live feed, thank you so much. If you want to comment below on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in on iTunes, and let's get into it. So I have a few things I want to ask, since I haven't really had a chance to talk to you about Broad City. We kind of just met, just to be honest. We had a question in our first episode if you were more of an Abbi or an Ilana, and I'm kind of wondering, now that you've binged and seen kind of the different personalities, where do you fall on that?
Me and Jeff talk about this almost every single week, but I feel like I feel like they are both my animal spirit, because there are times where I feel like I connect with Abbi more.
Okay.
I feel like my life story is narrated in the Abbi essence.
Right.
But I totally go to the Ilana side at times. There are times where you just got to turn your Ilana on, you know? And so I feel like watching the show, Abbi has become more Ilana-esque.
Oh, yeah. And that's what's important, I think, in this new season, is that we're seeing kind of a blending of these two characters, and especially in these two episodes, which I think are they're pivotal in the kind of the season so far of what we've seen. Okay, good. So it's good to know you. I think you're kind of right. I initially said that I wanted to be an Ilana, but I think I'm an Abbi. But everybody has like that. They want to have a little bit more of Ilana in them. But I think I'm an Abbi.
Yeah, I think people, when they first meet, they like assume, based off my AfterBuzz personality, I'm an Ilana. But then when they meet me in real life, they're like, "Oh, okay.
Hey, Abbi,
you're a little chill. You're a little chiller than that."
Good to know. Okay, cool. So then we'll get right into it. So first, we'll talk about episode 7, which was BNB-NYC.
But wait, actually, before we do that, I just want to say one thing, because I thought we were coming in talking about the rat episode.
Yeah.
So I just have to say, though, I'm so Ilana when it comes to, this bitch had the weed in everything, like, and that is a true pothead, because you know how to make a ounce last, bitch. So I just wanted to say that. Go ahead, Ilana. That was some real shit that they put on television.
Yeah, and I feel like even in this episode, we see that she's even just displaying it proudly when she rents out her apartment. Like, she has no shame in just like,
she decorated
it's in a bonsai tree looking thing. So she has, hiding spaces, and then it's on display. So she has no shame, like, with whatever she, her prerogative there.
Oh my god.
All right, so we'll talk about the opening, which I always look forward to the opening of Broad City. They always have something different where if you're a viewer and you didn't know what the show was, you're going to know what the show is. Right. So they open, there's, we'll say, Skyping while on the toilet, muting whenever something's going on. And it's another strong start. They have another strong episode where if you didn't know these characters, you know them now. Like, these are the girls who are going to be on the toilet and still have a conversation. Their bond is strong. Nothing's going to stop them from talking.
And it's just real life. Like, the fact that they show that, the fact that that's what people do. I be on the toilet all the time talking to my friends, being like, okay, put on mute. If you don't want to get off the phone with me, or you keep running your mouth, I'm going to do whatever I need to do,
Maybe I'm a little opposite because I've not done that yet. So I'll say yet, because you can never say but
because there are some people who pretend like they don't do that, but you know what I mean.
Okay, well, I said yet. You never know what's gonna happen.
Now, FaceTiming, Skyping, like that's
the line.
To another level.
Okay, all right.
So you don't need to be visually with me. All the way.
So they come up with this plan where I've never Airbnb'd myself. This is kind of where they're getting with the storyline. but they decide, hey, our roommates are both out of town. We should do something to make money. They come up with this genius plan to rent out their apartment. So have you ever stayed in an Airbnb? Do you know the process? Because I was new watching this.
So I've never personally, but my cousin recently was doing. It was so funny because he lives in New York, and on the weekends he goes back to Boston, and so my aunt was like, well, we rent our thing out for Airbnb, so you do it. So him and his girlfriend, they rented their thing out. And it's worked out great. And like how she said, it worked $700 a night. That's literally, he was like, I get my rent in one night.
That's insane.
But
Someone,
they weren't supposed to have animals in one of the apartments, in his apartment, and they had apparently like a bird or something. Like there were like little pellets of something.
who travels with the bird?
I don't know. It was like,
It's a weird animal to bring with you.
yeah.
Okay, so
But he got, I guess there's like an insurance thing, and like Airbnb takes care of it.
Oh,
So
cool.
they have little safety features for that. But I don't know about getting robbed. That's
that was rough to see. So okay, so the $700 mark is not far off for
No.
what you're saying. Okay, so they each decide
for their apartments. I mean, but
Yeah.
honestly, like they raise the prices for different things. I know, like for Comic-Con, we're looking for places, and the prices on any other weekend are like 200 for
right.
like a cute, nice place. But
Yeah.
Comic-Con weekend, it's like
Yeah,
$600.
they do the they know that they're going to get the business no matter what happens. So, okay, so $700, that was kind of my question. I didn't know if that was something reasonable, or if they were asking extraordinary amount of money, but they both get people to come in. So we see Ilana's people come in, and they speak zero English, which totally works for an Ilana storyline. She has a translator on the phone, which I thought was hilarious, and it's just translating. You can hear the playback of what it's saying, and it's just like, she's like, Colorado. It's like, Colorado. Like, it's the fun little jokes like that. She doesn't have her own Wi-Fi. She steals from the halal building across the street, where the password was like, I think PETA something. It's fun to see the comparison, whereas Abby is getting this gorgeous French man named Henri, who she's made
you're a true romantic like me.
yeah, she's like, yeah, I am. And she's made a map about what's going on in the block of her area. The machete line killed me, because she's like, and the part where there's a machete, that's where somebody got macheted in half. Like, that's happening in New York. I don't know. In a story,
100%.
maybe. I don't want to make claims, but I'm sure that it may have happened.
Yeah, no, there's actually this is a true thing. I lived in New York for 6 years or 5 years.
Yeah.
There's a gang in New York, but I think it's like where they live.
They're in Queens, Astoria.
Oh, okay.
Or Astoria, I don't know if I'm saying that. Queens. Yeah, Queens.
Yeah. Astoria, Queens. So the Machete Gang is actually a Hispanic gang out there, but they're more so Upper West Side.
That makes sense.
But yeah, that was like a big thing. It was
Okay.
kind of years ago. I don't know if it's still going on, but it was like a really scary, like,
Ooh. All right.
they out here.
Okay.
With machetes. Like,
Yeah, that's
can we
like-
just get like a pistol or something?
No kidding. That's like a no-nonsense weapon. Like, you're out for danger.
like, imagine being on the subway and someone's like,
Yeah, no, thank you. I will pass on that. So I'm no longer going to Harlem or Queens.
But I'm so Abby in the sense of, if I was to Airbnb, I think I would be psycho and like hide a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But I would totally like do something like write out something for the people who are doing it. So
Yeah, I feel like I'd be a great host. Yeah. I don't know if I have any machete people in my area, but that would be the type of thing that I would want to warn people about.
you'd be like, be careful in this section of Venice Beach, there are heroin needles.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, if you step on a beach in Venice, you may get a syringe in the heel of your foot. But it's great. You guys should come visit California. It's amazing. Okay, so we know that Jaime is Ilana's roommate, and then Bevers, who Abby mistakenly forgets that that's not even her roommate. So they're out of town. They both decide to make money, forcing them without a place to stay. We get a phone call to Lincoln where they're kind of setting up for the next episode that he is with a woman, so they cannot stay with him.
Stephanie.
Isn't it? I mean, this next episode I'm crushed, so we're going to get into this. But they decide, why not just camp? They'll go to the rooftop. Ilana has an amazing rooftop. Abby loves to camp, so they're going to go to the top of the roof and just set up a tent.
Yeah.
It worked until a huge breeze comes along and tears apart everything that they had. But I thought it was interesting. So we talked about how much we've learned about these girls in each episode. Mm-hmm. When they were in the tent, we kind of got a little bit about their childhood and kind of what their first experiences were sleepovers were like. With Abby, they watched, is it Cape Fear? was that the movie that she said?
When was it?
Fear? It's Abbi and Ilana talking, and they said that it's kind of like how she learned about sexuality because oh God, I'm messing this up. I think it's Reese Witherspoon and Mark Wahlberg in this movie. Fear. Okay,
yeah,
so I don't know what Cape Fear is. My own movie. I'm writing it. And they're talking about how they kind of like learned about their sexuality. And Ilana's story is that a dad, the person that she was sleeping over, came in underwear and just ate spaghetti until he lasagna until he finished, and that horrified Abbi. I thought it was just a fun thing. I mean, it's these things that we're learning about these girls.
Yeah, and have you ever seen that movie, Fear?
No.
Crazy.
Really?
Crazy.
Worth watching?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like crazy.
Well, I heard about the scene about somebody fingering somebody on a roller coaster. So.
Yep, Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Crazy movie.
So, well, then that's understandable. I thought it was a roller coaster. Just kidding. Okay, so it's just these little nuggets that I'm sure that we're going to get a call back, and we're still learning about childhood, which is something that, Mary Lou, Jeff, and Brandon and I had talked about. Like, we love learning more about these girls, especially like the past, because it's kind of what made them friends. So I thought it was fun to get that. Ultimately, they decide on the choice of just staying up, and they can wait it out. Their tenants are out at 11 a.m., so they're just going to live up the night, find a place to go, and it may be the Bad Diner, just because it's so local to everything. So, have you had an adventure that goes really long? You gave me the eye, like, yes, what am I talking about?
It always starts with those peanuts in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was everything from like when they ride the subway, when Ilana rode the subway with that little rich white boy that she was babysitting, like everything is so real about New York. So this one with the peanuts, like they are the best smelling things you have ever smelled in your entire life.
Right.
But they're so mediocre. They're never as good as it doesn't even smell like a peanut. It smells like crystal. I don't know what crystal meth smells like. Whatever, something really addicting, and you just want it, and then you eat it, and you're like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
So my crazy story though would be there was one time
You were eating nuts.
I was eating nuts. Actually, it was a Halloween. It wasn't Gay Pride, and I had to walk. I had met this guy, and so we were talking, and you just aimlessly start walking. We were walking and talking, and we walked from like 20-something Street to 59 Columbus Circle, right where Central Park started, and I was like, wow, this guy's like amazing. Like he's actually like almost like the perfect guy in the world.
Yeah.
And then come to find out, he was like, oh, hold on one second, I gotta go do something. He hopped in somebody's car, came back like 6-7 minutes later. He was a prostitute. I had walked all these damn streets with a prostitute. He was fine as hell.
Yeah, well, how much were you charged for that walk?
I wasn't charged nothing. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And I was like, I'm not judging you or anything, but like, I have to go.
Wow. Well, you said this was Halloween?
Yeah, this was like years ago.
Was he dressed as a prostitute?
No, he was just like, I don't know what they dress like, but he was just...
I don't think they're really...
In all white, like an angel.
Right, he was very angelic. Well, okay, so you've had these kind of nights, and it's like you said, the exact quote, because I wrote it down and it made me laugh, where these taste pretty good, but they smell amazing. And that's my experience, because I visited New York, and I'm like, oh, these smell great. And then you get them, and you're like, not the best.
No.
I'm like, no.
And then like a weird crunch texture that's like, is it supposed to be like that?
Yeah, what am I getting?
Is this some actual peanut?
A hint of tobacco or something?
Right,
Something like somebody emptied a cigarette thing on there? Okay. So that's where it started. They overhear... this kind of solves their problem. They overhear a man on the phone trying to win what we assume an ex back, saying, we have a table at a club, come in, bottle service, everything's taken care of. So Ilana and Abbi are both like, ding, 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 this is what we're doing.
And I've done this before too.
Really?
It wasn't in New York, it was in Vegas, but my homegirl, we overheard a name of a club promoter. She went up to this club and she said, we're here with Lucius. They gave us comped like as many tickets as we needed.
Oh my
we went
gosh.
right on up into the club. We didn't know who we were partying with. We made a whole bunch of friends that night. It was a great night.
I am so boring. I've been kicked out of clubs for trying that. It just hasn't worked out for me. So that's, I guess, where we're different, Jessie.
I'm going to take you out one night.
Please, yeah, let's try. I would like an experience
We're going
like
to record it.
Yeah. Oh, but I'll be kicked out and I'll be filming you on the other side, like still dancing with like a bottle. Yeah, so, okay, we'll make it happen. We'll try. Okay, so they get into the club with an outfit change. Now, I don't know if I like seeing what they wear on this show because I think it's part of the characters, but what did you think of the outfits that they had on?
I was dying at Abbi, that fact that her stomach was so pale.
Yeah, very pale.
And then I was dying at Ilana with her turban.
Right? Like but it works for them.
No, yeah.
They carry it.
I feel like Ilana really carries it. Abbi sometimes it's very Abby's very like Lena Dunham with girls. Like
Right.
it works, and it's like you see girls dressed like that all the time. But for me, sometimes I'm not feeling what Abbi be putting on all the time.
Yeah.
Ilana, though, as crazy as it can get, it fits her character, and she makes it work. And
Absolutely.
it's like her own stuff. She's very bohemian.
And I mean, Mary Lou has brought it up so many times that she wears something. And you're like, was that on purpose? And you're like, yeah, it is. Like, yes,
Always.
she would wear that. So and with Abbi, I agree. I'm not always crazy about what she wears, but it's what Abbi would wear.
Yeah.
It's what she thinks like, oh, I should wear this to a bar or
Right.
a club. So in that aspect, I like when they first walked in, I was like, what am I looking at? But then I'm like, it works for the two characters. So I thought that was a fun thing. Yeah.
In their club, we all firm.
What?
In the club. Are you racist?
I like that that's a recurring theme too, is that Abby's she's so wanting to impress Ilana that she's just like, I don't know what you're saying, but she just goes along with it every time, like, oh yeah, no, I'm not racist. Like, yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
But I
now.
love how Ilana acts like she's so down, and everything she says is so ignorant
Right.
and like offensive.
Oh yeah, completely.
But everyone accepts her personality.
Totally,
and I
because
love it.
that is her. Like, she's very unapologetic for how she acts. So everything from the bouncer stamping their hand to the whip of the hair, they end up.
Oh, that girl was hilarious.
Yeah, that's another thing too about the show. They get the best, not even featured extras, but just like the best side characters where you pay attention to them and they're memorable. Like that hair flip, if it was just like a girl opening undoing the velvet rope, we wouldn't care. Even the guy dancing who was like this,
Yep.
like he had a moment. It's just the show pays attention to so many details, and I think that's
And you
what
can
makes
go
it.
back and watch it over and over, and you'll always see something new.
Yep, absolutely.
I like that.
It's one of those shows. So so they end up with girls in the now what would you call it since you've been on the inside? Is it at the table?
Yeah.
Okay, I've not been
Behind
there.
the rope.
They're behind the rope.
VIP.
And they're just dancing. They see girls who are kind of like giving them the eye. All Ilana has to do is, hey.
But that's the realest thing when it comes to bitches. Like, you just have to act like you're unbothered. Because the thing is girls, when they go out, even guys do this, but like you go out and you're in your own zone and in your own head, and everyone else is like, why are they touching me? Why are they this?
Yeah.
Because we are conditioned in this world to be like that. So I feel like Ilana made perfect sense. If you just walk up to someone and be like, hey girl, like what's up? They don't know what to do, and they're
Yeah.
like, hey.
Yeah, you break that wall.
Yep.
And then it's like when they're dancing together, they're like, hey, hey. Yeah. And it's true. I mean, when you're out and you're just like, once you've had a few drinks, you're just like, hey, like everything you think is just like, you can't form a real sentence. So you're just saying these words.
It's like when you first go out and no one's dancing because they're like, oh, I'm just not cool to dance. And then when
Right.
everyone's drunk or you see one person go out and embarrass themselves, it's like, oh, well, he's doing that, so I'm out.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So during this whole experience, we've seen Abbi on the phone with her tenant, Henri, who is sending texts that could be interpreted as sex, which is her asking for her birthday and just really innocent things that Abbi misconstrues in her head that she thinks are sex. So while this is happening, Ilana bumps into 6'5" Blake Griffin, who looked... I know of him, but he looked great in this show. Like I thought they did a really good job with his cameo.
Yeah, I thought,
Not even
honestly,
cameo, but-
I love Blake Griffin. I knew of him.
Yeah.
I thought he was an attractive man from afar, but like not like one I would ever click his Instagram profile and like be scrolling through it. But with this, I was like,
Now you follow him. No.
follow him, subscribe to his YouTube channel, and I'm looking for your number, Blake.
Yeah. So Ilana bumps into him. Abbi, meanwhile, decides, hey, I'm going to go home to her suitor, Henri, and they decide to part ways. So I think what we should do here is just kind of follow one of the two girls. So which one should we go with first? We could do Abbi going to the apartment or Ilana going home with Blake.
Just the Blake, because he's in my head right
We'll
now.
go into Blake then. Okay, so the reason why she wants to do him is because I wrote down the quote. It was another stamp in her sexual passport because he's over 6'5". Good goal.
It is.
Life goal. Like, I made that. That's my new one.
Yeah. I would say like a 6'8".
Thank you for that. 6'8", that would be too much.
I feel like, if you're going to go there, go there.
Mama wants to climb that beanstalk.
I want to. Mama want to climb that beanstalk.
Okay. So with Blake Griffin, they are sitting down, and after a little bit of talk, Ilana says that she will not be able to receive him. He doesn't know what that means. He thinks that she's kind of laughing, making fun of him. So they decide to kind of go into a really fun what's that, montage? I was gonna say collage, which I know is not right.
No, montage.
Montage. They go into a fun montage of things that could be viewed as very innocent, but somehow it's getting them. It's sexual.
I'm almost there.
Yeah, climbing on the floor. We saw them sipping tea. We saw my favorite one was Blake swaddled Ilana and is rocking her like a baby.
I like the one where they're both sitting there with their legs crossed naked.
Yeah, just sipping like a saucer and some tea, and they're just. I mean, I don't know if they were taking a break or if that was part of the process. So
I felt like I was part of it.
Yeah. So I mean, after all of it, we know that they had an amazing night together, and it's exactly what Ilana wanted. She was even brave enough to tell Lincoln about her conquest with Blake Griffin, and to jump ahead, Lincoln and her both have a shoe. But that's getting ahead. So
wait, but the other thing about Blake and her is then they switched. They were wearing each other's shoes in the bed.
Yes. While talking, okay, this is another thing this show does. They commented on like female. It's another. I mean, they do it so smart. They bring it up without us knowing that this is the commentary. So it's where he says, "I get all of my moves from the WNBA. Like I wish that I could play as good as them." And it's just like I don't know if this is true, but from what I've heard, a lot of people kind of think that WNBA is like a joke and not as relevant as normal basketball.
Well, that's what like I feel like mainstream pushes it as. Right. But when I speak to a lot of people are telling me that no, the WNBA is where it's at.
It's like hardcore.
Yeah, and like they're allowed to get away with more in the WNBA,
right?
As far as like moves and stuff like that. So that's where I thought that was an awesome comment for him to make. That this really made me like him.
I agree,
because I've heard that of him before. I've heard him like kind of like douchey comments made about him. So to see him in this light, it was like, wow, he can make fun of himself, put himself in uncomfortable situations, and I don't know what his ethnicity is, but to see like a man being comfortable enough to like sit with his legs crossed and just certain things that someone could take and put in, under the category gay or like whatever. I love that he said that, and then I love that he gave credit to the WNBA as well.
And it's the way that they don't do it so pointed. It's it's camouflaged in with with a compliment, which I think Broad City always does a great job with. And it's like what you said. Not every athlete would show up and be game to get basically naked with like a sensor bar, and he just went for it, which I think,
and have a joke like, oh, your dick might be small or it may be big, or like
I'm sure like that was a conversation, and he was probably like, I'm game, I'm gonna do it. So I really did appreciate him for doing that. So that's kind of what happened with Ilana's night. Let's cut back to Abbi now. I know now. They say that you're not a New Yorker until you've been robbed.
Which is very true.
How many times have you been a New Yorker?
Once.
Once. Okay. Yeah. Your place, or was it on, like where you?
Yeah.
I have a story where I think I was almost mugged, and I ran. I ran so fast. I was with two friends.
Wait, how do you think you were almost mugged?
There was trouble a-coming.
What does that mean?
We were down by the Brooklyn Bridge, just like at night.
That's where I got,
Really? Okay, so then it definitely happened. So I'm just going to change that story. So I almost got killed and mugged, and I was with my friend Natalie and Bree, and we were walking. We just turned a corner on the wrong spot. And we saw like a group of three who noticed us and started coming at us.
Oh no.
And I said like, turn, walk away. There was like a big group of people doing exercises. This was like 11 at night. I don't know what was happening in New York that night, but we just went in there and we were just like, okay, like I think we almost got killed.
Were you on the Brooklyn side or Manhattan side?
Manhattan side. So I mean, where you would think we're safe.
Yeah.
So
anyway. I went to school right there, Pace University.
Okay. Well, I almost got killed where you were in school.
I'm sorry that happened.
It's okay. And then so that's what happened to you.
Or no, mine was actually really traumatic, and I ended up leaving New York because of it. But I was on a train station down below, and a group of, it must have been a gang or something. It was a group of kids, and they came and knocked me unconscious and threw my body on the train tracks. I woke up before the train came. It was around 11 too, and my mom had sent an email at the same time that I had they stole everything from me except this. I had a bag of weed on me, and they stole everything except my bag of weed. And I'm like, what kind of robbers are you? Like, that's what you should be taking.
Wow, that is.
And I had to walk from Brooklyn, and the cops wouldn't help me. Nobody would help me, and I was just bleeding, and I had to walk from Brooklyn to I lived on 36th and 9th at that time.
So it was like a mugging.
It was like a really bad situation.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I had post-traumatic stress. It was like a crazy situation.
I'm sorry that happened to you. Well,
but I'm over it. You know what I mean? I'm here. We're living.
You
I love New York. I'm not crazy about Brooklyn. But
Okay. Well, I'm really sorry that happened to you. Luckily, Abbi's wasn't as traumatic. So she comes back to an empty apartment where first she's so naive in thinking that Henri's in there. am I missing something? Or you're
No, I mean, I want to say it wasn't as traumatic, but low key, I feel like no one cares that nothing's gonna happen. Because
Yeah.
the cops were like,
there was a black man sitting on a bench
Reading a book,
reading a book
unarmed.
that was probably concealing a weapon.
"What?"
Yeah, I mean, it's another thing that they point out where it's just Broad City does a great way of addressing those kind of issues. So good job on that. But yeah, nobody cares. Nobody. I mean, Bevers was in an ice bath in Atlantic City. I don't know why.
So we don't know why he was in Atlanta.
I don't think so.
Because I tried to like rewind a little bit to see.
Yeah, I
where
don't think
that
we find. We
connects
just
to.
know that he's gone, and her actual roommate, I forget her name because we haven't even really known her. I know it's something, but tell me what it is if you remember. But so they're both gone. But yeah, he's in an ice bath, and he offers to watch her sleep via FaceTime. Yeah, so she doesn't take him up on that.
with our relationship?
But he locked his door, so so that was good. Nothing of his got taken.
No, he locked his girlfriend's door.
Right. Oh yeah, I guess I should be clear on that. Yeah. So the next phone
He
call.
should be clear on that.
Yeah. So the next phone call we get is to my love Trey, who
I do love Trey.
Oh my gosh!
And I
we've-
hate that Abby is like this.
You don't like? Do you like them together?
No, I want them to be
Oh,
together,
okay.
but I feel like we'll talk about it later.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Okay. So Trey, which last week we were saying, or I guess 2 weeks ago we were talking about on our after show how we haven't had a progression since that kiss.
Yep.
And now I'm happy that 2 big episodes that kind of define kind of the Trabby, as Jeff talked 2 weeks ago. He gave them a little nickname. I'm happy that this was her phone call, and I knew that it was coming. And the way that he comforts her is so him. Like, not who we know, but I mean, we're seeing like the softer, sweeter side of Trey where he already has a DVD player, probably assuming that everything was taken. He brings 3 solid choices of movies, but they ultimately end up going with Ratatouille, which is like great. And just seeing him, how he reacts to her and how I think he really likes her.
Yeah, he wants to be her protector.
Yeah, storming into the apartment and like clear. Like he's like, he wanted to be like that man in her life. And it's just, I like the realization where she sits in her bed and I mean, she has that like aha moment of what am I doing? Like, why am I not out there? When I saw it, I mean, they're giving us a lot of gratuitous shirtless scenes with Trey, which
I'm here for it.
yeah,
All of it.
we're appreciative of that. So thank you.
This was a great app between Blake and Trey. I was just thoroughly satisfied.
Yeah, it's a really good one. So yeah, so they're giving us a lot of gratuitous with that one. But so overall, you're happy with how they've kind of approached their relationship?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially like after the past couple episodes, like you kind of felt like it was going there, and then this episode he came and was her savior,
Right.
and I was into it, the whole situation. Then with the condom thing at the end, I was like, yeah, Abby.
Yeah, so we'll go right into it. So that's kind of like our tag. That's where we go. That's going to lead us into the next episode. But we know that another great thing, Ilana can tell how long ago a condom was used just by sniffing it. 6 to 6.5 hours. So
Disgusting.
they're hot on the trail. They can make this happen fist. Like she has so many isms that I'm so obsessed with, and I wish I could incorporate it in my normal day. But people would be like, "Jay's gone crazy. He can't. I can't pull it off."
I feel like people would accept you.
Yeah,
I feel like you can. Yeah, you
I'm
just
gonna
gotta
give
believe it. You have to live in it,
fist.
like Ilana.
I'm gonna start
living it.
Okay, I'm gonna IRL. I'm gonna try it.
There you go.
Okay, so I tried. Okay, so yeah, so they get into it, and Abby says, "I do not want to pursue this. Like, whatever, just let him go. My stuff's gone. It's not going to be recuperated." Okay, we'll move into episode 8, which is Burning Bridges, which automatically from that title, Jeff predicted a fight, kind of a fight.
Between who?
Between Abby and Ilana. He was like, that was his prediction on our first episode, and I said it would really bum me out if that happened, and we kind of got like a little glimpse into what that could be like. So I'm jumping so far ahead. We'll go into the opening again. Again, this reminded me of Clueless, kind of like an homage to Clueless, where Cher and Dion are walking down the hallway, and we're seeing both of them, and they meet, and then they're still on their phones talking. What we know is that I'm assuming that Ilana is getting a new job and she needs some clean pee, where Abby has a human level of pee, like or of drugs in her
Right.
system, whereas I'm sure Ilana's would be off the charts. So I thought that was a fun one, and they're talking about a swamp ass, which I've never experienced myself, but maybe
Really?
maybe you could talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, you work out a lot and it's hot out, you're going to get some swamp ass, you know? If your AC broken and you driving to Vegas or, to a really far off place, you're going to get swamp ass. If you just, if it's hot, if you living in New York City, and you don't have no AC, and you get on the wrong train and they don't have the cart ain't got no air on it, you gonna get swamp ass. So you don't sit because then that helps swamp ass grow.
Right.
And you definitely don't wear all white.
Yeah.
Although I loved that outfit she was wearing.
Wanted to say that I loved that outfit. That was so
I actually
New
think
York.
that was her best outfit I've ever seen her in, because it was
I
almost
agree.
like, yes, Ilana, yes, queen.
Everything, her skin tone was perfect. The sheerness of it,
Yeah.
everything was absolutely perfect.
It was really actually shocking for me. I was like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I want to see this Ilana.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked a little bit about like budget earlier too, where we said maybe they're getting a little bit more budget and they're able to kind of accept this into their characters' lives, that maybe they're putting a little bit more effort into their looks.
Yeah.
So I thought that this season has had some really fun fashion things, but I agree that was probably her best I've ever seen her.
Yeah, she looked amazing.
Good. So she spills the pee. She goes, "Hey, can I buy you a nice coffee?" So, and you see the big black like print on her, like
That is not swamp ass. I don't know what that was. You do not get that with swamp ass.
But I like
though.
that that's like what maybe she thinks that's swamp ass. So so then we go into the credits and we come out to Abbi and Trey in the shower where they're having a moment.
Oral sex.
Yeah. They're dipping in and out of frame. Ultimately, Trey wants to make this something.
Well, he wants to, have a little conversation. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to feel like a whore. He doesn't want to, just come over and get slobbed on his knob. He wants to get to know Abbi and beyond.
Yeah.
Janitor.
Where do you think Abby's hesitation comes from for this?
That's my irritation with it, because it's like, where you think that she kind of has been checking him out this whole time, I think it's an insecurity within her. I think that she's looking at it like, okay, now I have it, and it's like, well, I'm not good enough.
Right.
To me, that's where it stems from, and it's like, I don't want it to get ruined, so let's just keep it here. Versus, it's like what a lot of people go through. It's like they don't want to fully commit because they feel like, oh, well, once I fully commit, it's gonna get ruined.
Okay.
And especially Ilana's her best friend,
Yeah.
and that's her mentality. Period.
Right.
So,
And I took it as an embarrassment from Ilana. Like she doesn't. I don't know if she wants to date Trey for that reason. Like I think she's embarrassed to admit it to Ilana, which I think kind of came into the end.
as a feminist, you're gonna date this man? Like,
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen nothing but good qualities from Trey, so it is
Yeah.
hard for me to imagine why Abby is so hesitant to make the jump. And maybe it's just like she has a different work relationship that she wants to separate with it. But
Well, he's also like, here's the thing. He's like almost the perfect guy, but there is a bit of like corniness that I would, if I was his friend, I'd be like, bro, like, come on. You're not really like that. Snap like 25% out of that.
yeah,
Because he's like, too, like, what are we going to do? All right, yeah. Like, okay, yeah.
yeah.
Like,
And I mean, that's more in the beginning. We've seen
stop
him
drinking the kombucha juice or whatever that was.
kombucha.
Kombucha
Yeah,
juice.
yeah. He's had some kombucha, if we're using the other trainer's word. But but he has shown us really sweet moments. So I think, well, especially with Abby, he's being very sweet. So I'm kind of wondering where the hesitation comes from. So they decide tonight dinner, we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, Ilana is on the street chanting Madonna, Rihanna, Ilana. She's having a moment. She's in good company with her name. So much so that she runs through bubbles, gets an apple tossed to her. I loved the sequence. It was, again, we saw another side of Ilana's, in real life, her athleticism of doing a flawless cartwheel, which I can do, but it was fun to see that, and then like a hip check of a woman on a phone.
Yep.
It's just these fun, like if you saw this happening like on, I don't know where they were, like maybe like Broadway or something. I don't know where. It looked like they were near the park, right?
Yeah, it actually looked low key, like it was kind of down by the Brooklyn Bridge.
Okay.
Right by the courthouse.
Yeah.
That there's like a little park section where
Okay.
people play chess and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it gave me, that area.
So imagine seeing this like 20-something girl doing a cartwheel and then hip checking
Welcome
a
to
girl.
New York.
Okay, so it's not out of
Not at all. No.
Okay.
And like, I mean, when you're in New York, like you don't pay attention to that kind of stuff because it's literally like, I mean, I've been on the subway waiting on a platform, and this man was taking requests, and someone said, can you sing Crazy in Love? This man walked up, he cleared everybody out the way on 42nd Street, walked up the stairs, went around the corner and was like, this is Beyonce from the BET Awards 2000 whatever. And you can't see him around the corner. He's like, da, 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 da. And he pops out and he sachets down the
Wow.
stairs, and he shablams on the ground, and he stands up and he goes, 1, 2, 3, 4. And oh my god, like it's just epicness everywhere. So like that is like
This is tame compared to what you see.
100%,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. So I'm thinking it was crazy, but I just loved the athleticism that we saw from the actor and the character Ilana, who gets a phone call from her parents saying that we're expecting them as guests. Or they're coming in and they're going to be celebrating their anniversary at dinner tonight.
I love her mother.
Oh, she's Bobby Wexler is such a good character, and the casting for that is great.
Yeah.
The purse episode, which might be fresh in your head, I don't remember too much of it, but she loves like the counterfeits because they look so real. And they go, is it Canal Street where they sell those? I mean, that whole episode was genius too. So great casting. I love both the mom, the dad, and then her brother.
Oh,
They're all
poor
just,
brother.
I know. Oh, Elliot. Yeah, I feel so sad for him. So now we have plans for tonight. We both know that Ilana's going to an anniversary dinner and Abby's going out for a date. They're coming together in the afternoon to talk about they haven't seen each other in a while, so they're just going to kind of review each other's life. Fun fact, the two women that rush into the chair, those were their moms in real life.
There was something about them that looked
They flip them off, and
familiar-esque.
Because I follow them both on Twitter, and they had a little like I don't know if it's GIF or GIF. We all get nervous when we have to say this. I don't know what it is, but they had them, and it said "Our Mamas in Real Life" or something, like a very cute tag. And I thought it was that's a great way to incorporate, like, kind of have a fun, like cameo from their parents or from their moms. So they do get a chair after some issues with Abbi. This is another thing I'm talking about. Yeah, the amputee. I mean, they use these side characters so great, and he did a great job with that small little part. It was like memorable. Like it's something I'm gonna think about.
Oh, you're always gonna. Yeah.
Did you think that was out of character for Abbi to pull a chair? Like I thought that would have been more of an Ilana. Like you're being a dick. Like
no, I actually thought that was very Abbi.
Oh, really?
Because I feel like Ilana would have just did it from the beginning, like sir, where Abbi was like trying to be reasonable with him,
good
and then
point.
it was. But Abbi has this like aggressive spirit to her when like obviously we've seen
all caps. All caps. Abbi was out.
So I felt like it was in that moment like, wait a minute, you're doing the wrong thing here. Like there's two people who need a chair and you're being a dick, because most people are dicks and they would just want the chair there so they could put one leg up
as an ottoman.
Right.
Yeah. So and then Ilana gets one so easily from a couple where a guy he's chosen to just stand. It's so funny. Like, I mean, Abby's going through all this like trouble, and then Ilana's like, "Oh yeah, this couple gave me one," and the guy's just standing and like smiling, like happy to have given it.
And that's what life is like. It's like when you sitting here trying to do the right thing and all this, and then here you go, your opposite Ilana is just easily getting winning in love.
Right. Yeah. So they sit down, they talk, and ultimately it comes to Ilana inviting Abbi to the anniversary dinner tonight, and kind of having to break her out of, what are you doing? Like, why can't you come? And Abbi goes to her go-to lie that she is training Shania Twain, which I think is my new go-to lie. If you guys hear that come from me or I text that to you, I'm probably lying, which I shouldn't say that now. Maybe I need to train a different celebrity of that same caliber. Toby Keith? Can I just use another country star?
There you go.
I'm a trainer for Toby Keith.
Hayden Panettiere.
Oh, there we go.
It's just random, and it would make someone like question, like Shania Twain. It's like, you ain't training Shania Twain, but Hayden Panettiere is like, why'd you say Hayden Panettiere? Like maybe you actually do that.
Yeah, she wants my glutes.
Yeah.
I ran into her and she wants my butt. Okay, so Ilana's so happy for her. She's, excited. Meanwhile, Lincoln is peeking from behind the tree, and something's coming. Like, I don't even know if I can get through this, but he's waiting for a break in Ilana and Abby's conversation so he can have a real sit down with Ilana. So Abbi excuses herself after kind of an awkward, oh, okay, this is clearly not for me to hear. And Lincoln breaks it to Ilana that he has started a monogamous he wants a monogamous relationship. And Ilana makes it very clear, that is not for me. I'm not doing this. Like, we've already talked about this. It's not for her. Right. Which, do you think that, that's not uncommon for, like, we're both 30. So at 20, I think they're about 25, 26, 27, like in that age range. I don't think that it's uncommon for girls and guys to say, I don't want anything monogamous right now. I don't think that's a weird...
I don't think that's weird for anybody
to
say that. I don't think there's like an age that you put it on. Because there was a time where at 26, I was looking for that. Now I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, I done did that too much, and now I need to just chill out and focus on myself. So, but with her, she's more of like, a dude, like, and
Yeah.
like you see her hollering at the people in the park.
Love that.
Like
With her parents there.
Yeah, with him, and they were like rooting her
Is this
on.
what you do? I love that. Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, I just look at it like with her, it's just her personality trait. She's the like, oh, she's so dumb. Like she's into like everything. Like
Right.
she's on Grinder all the time.
Yeah.
Like living
just
that
a sexual being.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And
just
she's
like kind of
free.
living what she wants. So
And I
guess,
love Lincoln, and I hate that this might happen.
I know. Yeah. So Lincoln says that he's been dating. You said Stephanie was the girl who he's been seeing, and he's ready to enter a monogamous relationship. Alana kind of thought it was going a different direction, where she was going to get all the dirty details finally about their relationship, and that maybe she was going to get invited in. But I thought the breakup, if we can call it that, the ending or the termination of, I guess, them together, was very Ilana. She didn't go crazy. She didn't laugh it off. It was very her, which it was a real, like, she doesn't know what's the next step. Like, oh, maybe we can be friends. But he's like, I don't think we're friends. So I like that they were so honest in that moment. I thought this episode had great acting too. I think they wanted to show maybe a little bit different side than comedy, because they both had some very serious moments in this episode. So
Yeah.
I thought that the way she handled it was very Ilana.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I thought it was very. I like seeing Ilana when she's confronted with situations that she can't just joke around. She has to
Like, address it.
address it, but it's almost like, what do I want to say? Like it's like she becomes so transparent in the moment, and it's like, so in that moment she was acting like, oh yeah, okay, but you can totally see how affected she is. But we don't
Yeah.
get that a lot. I feel
No.
like most of the time she's in control.
Yeah.
I felt like in this moment she was not in control. Lincoln is now looking at her like, oh wait. I don't know. It's just a weird moment. So I'm hoping what we're gonna get is Lincoln realizing how to kind of open her up.
Yeah, because we have 2 more episodes in this season, so it's either going to happen real quick, or we're going to get maybe like a cliffhanger for a sitcom, which is not too for this tradition. This is not a traditional sitcom, so it'd be very bizarre if we didn't have this settled by the end of the season.
I feel like it's gonna.
On go.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, they're renewed for 5 seasons, so we know that. So this might be something, a Ross and Rachel thing. Not that
Ilana
serious.
and Lincoln.
Ilana and Lincoln is a new hashtag Ross and Rachel.
I feel like Abbi and Trey is that.
I agree with that. I think that that's going to be kind of the one where we're going to be more invested in what's going on with them.
And then if Lincoln and Ilana don't work out, I see them kind of keeping him away for a minute and then bringing him back, and
Yeah.
they're all just cool. And it's like, I could see that, because I love his character and I love how level-headed he is when it comes to just them, period.
Yeah, because they're both so off the charts, and then he's like the straight man, like, what are you guys doing? Like, what's going on? Yeah, so, and I thought when she turned around in the park too, like, because almost like she wanted to say something else, and she did like a weird, I think she was almost having like a, wait, do I want this with him? Now that that opportunity is slipping away, should I express like my true feelings? So that's kind of what I thought, but then ultimately it's a metaphor.
But she's the type of person I feel like it needs to be a while before she realizes, wait, this is like, I can
Yeah.
see like Lincoln and Steph are about to go get married at the altar, and Alana's running like, wait,
yeah.
like something dramatic and like
Yeah.
epic, like, and years later, seasons later, when we aren't even thinking about Lincoln,
Yeah.
and them bringing some shit like that.
Yeah, because as spontaneous as Ilana is, she is calculated too in her moves. Like, she knows what she's doing, and it's lasted her this long. She's got smart. So yeah, so you're right. Maybe we are going to address this later on down the line, and we're just going to not see Lincoln for a little bit.
Okay, so side note, but right after this, they went to commercial, and then I just wrote this down because
yeah.
the time traveling bong,
Yeah.
on 420, can't wait. Looks awesome. I was a
3-part.
little irritated though, because I'm watching it and I was like, is this like a Broad City like movie special? Which would have been awesome.
Yeah, can you imagine?
No,
I would have died.
I would. Yeah, I don't know if my body could have taken.
Yeah,
it.
I don't know if they said they're playing all 3 episodes in the same night, or if it's going to be a 3-night special. But something's going on where it's a 3-part series with the guy who plays, I can't remember his real name. Trey and Ilana is in it. I don't know if Abby's a part of it.
I didn't see her in it, or they were really just focused on these
Yeah.
2 characters. But on 420 Comedy Central, check it out.
Yeah. So there we go. So yeah, they're working on other projects, which is fun, and it's good that Comedy Central's supporting of Broad, like the creators of Broad City.
Yeah,
Like,
and
think they
I
see
love
this-
seeing people like them working together. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they want to use that talent and take them, you know, because one thing about these types of shows is you can be so typecasted from this. You
Yeah.
know, she'll always be Ilana, she'll always be Abbi. So to see them quickly being pushed into other situations. I like that.
Yeah, I agree. So like you said, we went to commercial. We're coming back now to Abbi choosing the right outfit for tonight, where she wants to keep it a hookup. She doesn't want it to be anything too serious.
That first outfit was what you just should have wore, because literally he'd be like, oh, you have no dressing style, so I don't want to date you, but that outfit's so horrible, I want to rip all your clothes off right now and just fuck you.
Yeah, that's the direction it probably would have gone in. So, of course, Bevers, the fashion icon, comes in and decides to help her with like a little...
Eating Kraft shredded cheese. This is so my brother. Like, who does that?
Me. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, your brother and I have that in common.
And we'd put it back in the fridge, and like we'd use it for taco. Disgusting.
Yeah, and then a rotisserie chicken, a whole rotisserie chicken.
Well, see, I would do that.
Yeah, these are things
I did that too.
Maybe you're a Bevers than an Abbi or an Ilana.
Absolutely not.
All right, so because of his experience at the department store that his grandma, I believe, owned, he's helping Abbi choose out these. I forget what the name of the store was, but he's helping Abbi through some really fun outfit changes. We didn't get as much of a montage that I thought we were going to get, but ultimately she lands on the classic blue dress, which has made its appearance every season. And on key episodes too. Like it's almost like a character. It's featured.
But I mean, honestly, like really think about it. I don't know about you, but for me, like not really with dates, but like if I have like a carpet or if I have to do something, it's like I try on all these other outfits. I go out and buy stuff, and then you end up wearing the same pants. Well,
you look good in it. You got to own that. Yeah, of course. So I mean,
but I did like her in the black outfit.
With her slut legs out?
With her slut legs out. I was like, you're showing the same amount of legs in the blue dress. Yeah. It's just black, and it's finally something different.
It did look good, and I was talking earlier in the season about how I like her hair change. I think that it's kind of matured Abbi, and I think she looks... I honestly, like, I hate talking about, like, just women in TV and how they look, but I think that they look so great. Like, they're just these... I love watching them grow up on TV, so it's been fun. So, yeah, she ends up settling on that blue dress, and... Ilana,
I'm straight, but I'd suck him dry.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Trey has that effect on everybody. I get that. I'm there.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know?
So he's great. So, and I like that Bevers is the first one that Abbi tells kind of her secret that this is who it is. I don't know. It showed
they
me,
have
like,
the weirdest friendship.
They do, but it showed that she has like a trust in him, and she wants. I don't know. It was a nice moment.
That, and especially following, he was the first person she called. Can you just come back?
Yeah.
When she got robbed.
Yeah.
Can you just come back and just be here?
Yeah. So she wants to want him more than she wants to admit. I think. Yeah. So okay. So yeah, good. I'm happy that we got that. So now Ilana, we talked about this a little bit. She's like scamming on people in the park and just being like, just. Compliments that could be excused as insults.
I want to lick on them titties.
Yeah, those milk bags. And then she hits on her brother, who is getting major news, but we're not going to get to that yet because we don't know what it is. He gets cut off because they're leaving. They're going to the restaurant. So anything else? I mean, am I missing anything? I mean, we're at the dinner now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at dinner where Trey has arrived 30 minutes before.
Trey.
He is so extreme. Yeah, I imagine he was probably, as soon as he made the plans for that night, he probably went home and got dressed, sat on the couch, and just was like, okay, like, only 6 hours left. 6.5 hours left. Yeah.
Well, he definitely did.
Wait, 5.5.
He had it timed out. He did his burpees, and then he had his nutritional snack in between.
Right. Yeah. So he knew. Yeah. I think he was well prepared for this. So he's already sitting. He's got a great table, which, I mean, that table was nice. And Abbi comes in and just gets treated like a lady.
Yeah.
Like the chair was pulled out for her. He tucks it in, and they kind of have like a sweet conversation. I think he tells her that he's been accepted on American Ninja Warrior, which plays a fact into the next like kind of little segment. But they're just having like a nice conversation until she realizes
Ilana. Ilana and her family.
Yeah, Ilana and her family are at the table across the way a little bit. So
with their lays,
yeah. We've seen this scenario in so many shows where a person is like jumping from table to table.
Doubtfire is what instantly went to.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think every sitcom has this trope of like, okay, we're going to put this person in a high pressure situation. Yep. This one I was actually nervous about. Like I know Abbi wasn't ready to tell Ilana about Trey, and I'm like, I know it's going to happen, but I was nervous for the situation. Like I felt that.
I felt more, I was nervous too, but I felt like Trey was going to react more so than Ilana.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I figured Ilana was going to have a reaction, but I was surprised how, like, chill Trey was kind of initially.
Yeah.
And it was more of like, you are doing me wrong, you're breaking up with me. Ilana really took it there.
Yeah, yeah. So I could see how you could say that, because he like almost like a dirty little secret kind of person.
Yeah, and to me, I feel like, okay, like when she said, "Oh, he's a joke," that's what bothered him. But to me, his character, I feel, would be offended. Like, you know, why wouldn't you just tell me that we could have all eaten over there? You know, you're telling me you lied to me about. She's always sick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a doctor. I got to take this. She's always sick. Like, that's a concern he would really have.
Yeah, and like, but I'm surprised again when she came back, he wasn't like a list of things like, you know, I'm worried about your blood pressure. And I feel like we should change your diet. You know what?
Yeah,
I ordered the salmon instead.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I think we're seeing a different side of him where that's not his number one priority, because he got her a corsage because that was just a sweet little,
like, high school.
Yeah, but he's like, it's a joke, but serious. Like, so it's like a cute side of him. And then one of my favorites was when he's showing the picture of the twin sisters and he says, they pretend to be the same person. It's genius that they're teachers at a middle school. And this is a real thing that they're pretending to be the same person. I thought that was such like a slapstick line like that they threw in, and she's just like not even listening anymore. And it's just like, it was one of those throwaways, but I thought it was one of the best parts. Meanwhile, Ilana is making eyes at this guy across the table and, like, you know, motioning 5 minutes downstairs. They're gonna have just anonymous random sex.
Can't.
Yeah. This hasn't happened to you, I guess.
No.
Okay. Well, in my experience, on the 5 times that it has, I know. Just kidding. We saw
that grinder go up.
But we saw that she doesn't really want this relationship, or not really. She doesn't want this hookup anymore. That's not her priority. Like, I think she kind of got cold feet, realizing like it's not as fun as I thought it was going to be.
And I love when she went back. The mom was like, "What were you doing?" Like, she just knew.
Yeah, because the zipper's down too, and it's just like, obviously, like, where was Ilana? Like, we know that it wasn't a huge dump like she said it was, but she had a real moment of just like a sweet, like, it's kind of good that you guys have 2 kids and you've been married, I think it was 35 years, and you know, you must be proud of yourselves. And so we're seeing like, this was just a very different breakaway kind of from Ilana, like who we know her as. Am I missing anything so far? I think the corsage and, the remembering of the first kiss. So she's like, Abbi kind of has a slip up and says, "Happy anniversary." Happy anniversary. And Trey goes, "I can't believe you remember that 4 weeks ago. This was our first kiss." Which, another thing where he's just so sweet that he would remember that. Or is it creepy?
See, okay, I wanted to ask you that.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think it is?
My personal life, I think it would be creepy.
Yeah, okay, because like I don't know, like people who are like, it's our 1st month anniversary, it's our 2nd month anniversary, it's our 3rd month, like,
it's like, let's calm down until
like
we're
living. We're living life, so the months are gonna come.
Yeah.
And you know, when we hit a milestone, then we can, you know, like a month.
Yeah.
4 weeks since our kiss, like 4 weeks.
I just like that it was a big deal to him.
Yeah.
Like but I agree. In my real life, I'm not in a sitcom, so I don't think that's really that romantic. I'd be like, okay, like, red flag. So there's them talking. Ultimately, Abby's back at the table with the Wexlers and
drinking their lychee martini.
I've never had one.
Oh my gosh, they're amazing.
It looked good.
They're amazing. You need like 2 of them and you're great.
Really?
Yeah.
What is is that a thing like a...
It's a fruit. And it's literally that white ball, which
looks like a scallop.
It does look like a scallop, but it's really sweet. It's really good. And I can't explain what the flavor would actually taste like. Actually, it kind of gives me a little bit of like the white Airhead.
Oh, okay.
A little bit of the white Airheadish, that sweetness.
I'm interested.
It's a very sweet drink, but yeah, like 2 of them make you real nice. But that lychee thing, I could totally see somebody choking on.
Is it
something
hard?
Like that. No.
Okay.
It's like
like enough to clog a throat though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like grapey-ish.
Yeah. Okay. I'll next time I'm out,
Definitely
I'm gonna look
recommend you guys to get that
lychee martini. Okay, so Mrs. Bobby Wexler chokes on a lychee, and Abby's there, and nobody seems to know what to do. So across the restaurant, Trey, like,
see this again, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah,
it was just giving me. Wasn't that was Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yeah,
she's choking, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're absolutely right. So Trey, this is where the American Ninja Warrior training comes in handy, where the person with the walker is in and he has to dodge back and forth, a somersault flip across the plants. And it's just like, it's a serious moment, but for them to take that beat and have like a comedy, I thought, or a little like comedy pause was fun too. Ultimately, we get the lychee out. Elliot looks horrified that this happened. I love that they cut to him like, what? Like, he doesn't know what's going on. But I do love that he recognized him as Kirk Steele.
Yeah. Kirk Steele.
Yeah. So it's these little like recalls to, or callbacks to, like, we know he was watching the porn when Ilana called him a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
Opinions
with the balls.
Yeah, with the ball. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So he knows him as Kirk Steele, and everything kind of comes to a head at that point where the truth comes out. So now Ilana knows about Trey. Trey kind of sees something's going on, but he doesn't react. Like, he's just like, oh, the family's here. And I don't know if he misinterpreted or what was going on, but he kind of stayed back.
He's so naive to even think, like, he probably like looks at it like, oh, what a coincidence.
Right.
They're here. Of course, Abbi wouldn't lie to me and tell me she was picking up a phone call when really she's, over here drinking lychee martini.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And we saw how touched Ilana was that Abbi was even there in the first place, like thinking that she told a lie so that she could surprise her. So I think that maybe that's why she took it harder, like saying, oh, you weren't even here for me. It was really just a coincidence. So Ilana, kind of has a breakdown, and like, we know that she even told Abbi that she's having a really hard time and what happened with,
Lincoln.
Yeah, with Lincoln. So she goes outside. Abbi comes out and says, like, I wanted to tell you, I really did, but don't think about it. It was a joke. Of course, it wouldn't be a show unless Trey heard that. So it's a little bit of conflict, and he thinks that he said that they were having fun, and I think he thought it was like going well that night. Like, even though she had so many excuses of going away from the table, you saw him like, yes, like a little like smile, like, I'm getting to her kind of thing. And yeah, I know it's such a bummer. What did you think of? I wouldn't have expected it any other way, but what would you think, or what did you think about Abbi staying with Ilana when Trey kind of said, I'm not a joke, and he walked off? Did you think that Abbi was going to go for Trey?
No, I didn't actually at all. Because I think my prediction-esque kind of moment for this would be that Ilana and Abbi are going to kind of experience this single life right now, even though they've been living in that single-minded life. But I feel like the two of them now are going to kind of sit and ponder on it, and it's going to be one of those things. I feel like either Ilana or Abbi are going to have one of those moments where they have to go run out, go get him, go chase after the guy, and whether it's Ilana telling Abbi, no, you have to go get Trey, or the opposite way around. I feel like that's what we're going to get from this moment, and that's why I feel like at the end of the day, she's always going to pick her best friend,
right?
And that's why we love them, so.
They're strong. Their bond is so strong that I didn't think,
like,
for a
you don't
second
know if they're like lesbians, or like maybe they'll end up together in the end.
Well, even about the threesome, like, Ilana's, I thought it was just gonna be us two, and then something was gonna happen from there, like going back to the episode 7. But yeah, I didn't doubt for a second that it was just gonna be, I didn't think Abbi would ever choose Trey over Ilana. Like, obviously Ilana's in a very hurtful spot, or very vulnerable spot. So I don't know, I think that with that moment, it just showed like how strong their friendship is. And I mean, Ilana was kind of hurt, I think, a little bit, but not, she was just like, I want the dick deets, but right now I just got to get these feelings out. And I thought it was like a solid acting job. They're comedians, and and comedians always have some of the like meatier, I don't know, like acting, like serious scenes. I think that they do great.
As a comedian, I always feel, I mean, I've studied some of the greats, and everyone always says the funniest people are the most depressed people, and it's because they go through so many different emotions. You have to go to that dark place to really explore the funny,
right?
And especially to relate. So, and especially with an improv, growing, having this improv background, I love that we can get a 30-minute show that can balance out that type of comedy with that type of message, with that type of deepness to it. Even the Hillary Clinton stuff, like, it's just like they can bring in such a political topic, but still make it fun, light, but still get a message across.
Right. Yeah,
I love it.
Absolutely, and the show just does a great job at keeping that tone. So that's great. And then. So now we know that that's all out in the open, that Lincoln broke up with Ilana, that Abbi was dating Trey. So I kind of know like their secrets, and that kind of leads us to the bathtub where they're kind of spilling all their secrets. And any standout secrets that you heard on this one about? Abbi or Ilana wanted to break free and get rid of her bra, so she left one in Oliver's room, and it was just, I mean, they're never gonna be able to explain that. There was just like, it's just that they're in the bath together. I'm assuming nude. I didn't see anything. I mean,
No, yeah,
they were
for
naked,
sure.
so okay. And the tub was so gross.
Very
Is it
New
bad?
York, though.
Is it
Very
bad?
New York.
I just wanted to like scrub it clean. I
No,
was getting anxiety
It's like
looking
one
at
of those
it.
tubs that's just like before you move in, you have to be an adult and say, I'm not writing anything on this lease until you fix that tub.
Yeah.
And Ilana and Abbi, I don't see them as
don't
that.
care.
I feel
That's like the least of their problem. They're like, hey, we have a tub. Like that's their mentality.
But the brother,
Yeah.
Ilana's brother, poor kid, always getting shut down.
I
He tells
know.
him that he got a promotion and he's moving to London. The mom's like, no, you're not. And he was like,
He's
okay.
like, okay, yeah. But we did know that he got a fun commercial for audition for his dog for Purina. I think in episode 7. That's why they couldn't go to his house in episode 7. So a lot's going on for Elliot Wexler. But
Yes,
yeah, anything else we missed or we want to talk about?
I mean, that was pretty much it.
Cool. Yeah.
Good episodes.
Yeah. I mean, solid. This season has been great, and I've brought it up. I think every episode that if you were to hop in on this season, you would know who these characters are. And Brandon, one of the other hosts, was saying they've streamlined this season a lot more. Where I think if you were to watch Burning Bridges, you'd be like, I don't know who these people are. So they are getting a little bit more linear with their storytelling, and it's really building on these characters, and we're learning more. So I'm excited to see that we're seeing development in these characters. We're seeing kind of bigger stakes too for some of the situations.
Yeah, I love the show because it's just Jeff got me on it, and so ever since then I've just been on it. I've been obsessed and binge watching it, and I watch them over and over again because it's just a fun, comfortable show,
Yeah.
relatable. You feel like you could just hop in the screen with them and
Yep.
play with them. But when I get people turned on to the show, any episode, they walk away from it being like, that was some funny-ish,
Yeah.
like. They connected to the characters, so I think the writing on this and the acting is just incredible. This
Yeah.
show is honestly one of the best shows on air for sure.
So before we do predictions, I have one question, because as a person who's lived in New York, we were saying how this show shows different parts of New York that we haven't really seen before. Like we've seen Central Park in so many shows. We've seen just like streets, but I think that they show kind of a grittier version of New York. Would
Yeah.
you agree with that?
100%. I think that, like I said before, about like on the train with the kid, like that is so New York. You know, when people say, "Oh, New York," you hear like, "Oh, it's gonna be so fun. We're gonna ride the subway. We're
Yeah.
gonna go to Central Park. We're gonna go to Times Square." And then you hear like a couple negative things, like, "Oh, you know, like don't go past this or don't go." So you know what your circle is,
Right.
But the thing is New York is like so. Yeah, it's not, Times Square is cool, but you take 3 blocks over,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be in a section where it's like the red light district, and it's all porn shops, and
Yeah.
you never know what you're gonna find there,
Right.
or you might bump into a nice person, they end up being a prostitute or an escort. You know what I mean? Like, so
Dressed as an angel, you would never
dressed
guess
as
it.
an angel.
You would know. But I guess when your costume probably said looking for escort or something.
Yes.
So yeah, so
I
let's-
was actually a Native American that year.
Oh, I like that. I've always wanted to do that, but I haven't done it yet. Maybe this year.
There you go.
All right, so let's get into predictions then.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Kind of sad because it's the season finale.
Yeah, we have 2, and I'm not sure if they're playing them back to back next week or if we're gonna get 1 and then 1 again.
Well, I think they said 2 hour.
It is a 2 hour or an hour.
Oh, they said 2-part season.
2
finale.
part. So I think we're getting a full hour this week. So how do you think they're gonna wrap up the season?
I don't know because I'm confused by the Jew plane.
The what?
The Jew plane.
Is that what the episode's called?
Well, no.
What am I missing?
When they get on the plane and the guy's like, "We're Jewish."
Oh, is that the preview?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even watch it.
Oh, yeah, so-
I'm in the dark. I
No,
have no
the
idea.
preview to me, I didn't understand what was happening,
Yeah.
and like I just know it has to do with Jews and a plane.
It sounds like a solid episode of
Yeah.
Broad City then.
And I was kind of like, well, they didn't explain a lot, and this is this 2-part season finale, so
Yeah. All right. Well, my thing is I think we're going to get some answers with Trey and
what
Abbi.
about Lincoln?
Lincoln, I don't think we're going to see. It's like you kind of swayed me. I don't think we're going to see him so far. So we'll see, though. I'm looking forward to it. It's one of my favorites.
I kind of feel like Ilana's gonna end up with a white guy or an Asian.
She wants that pink dick. All right. So go ahead, Jessie, and tell us where to find you.
Every red DJ Jesse J.
And guys, I'm Jay Ellis. You can find me on Instagram at don't_be_jealous and on Twitter at still_jealous. Thank you so much for watching. Looking forward to seeing you in either next week or 2 weeks. We'll find out. We'll let you know.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.